and now I'm going to demonstrate how to solo it, and you can solo Legendary as well. I'm the best tune I can bring that I have flagged is Voodoo. Voodoo is a tank, so I'm very low DPS, so might be a little bit on the slow side, but it's just heroic, so let's see what happens. I think soloing Heroic Shroud should be on everybody's bucket list if you've never soloed it before. This can be, a fun little challenge to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it on Elite. It's just Heroic. It's level 19 on Elite. No big deal. And this way we can not only demonstrate solo ability, but we can demonstrate the differences between Heroic and Legendary Shroud. Like I said, this tune is a tank. And it's an out-of-date tank at that because my gear is very old. I'm still using, like, basically, Feywild and Sharn gear. Most of my gear is from Feywild. There's a Kenneth crafted piece of gear. Most of this is from Feywild. That's from freaking good Legendary Good Intentions. That's from freaking Black and Blue. That's from Lord of Blades. That's from something a little bit newer. I can't remember what the Labyrinth Edge is from, but most of this is Feywild gear. So while this tune, may have a lot of past lives, honestly, with better gear, somebody who didn't have a lot of past lives could make up the difference in the stats. If you had modern gear, for example, because this gear is really outdated. I don't even have a profane set bonus. So we're going to come in here just like Legendary Shroud. We're going to gather up the trash mobs and kill them. So this flu that I had, it was really deceiving because I had symptoms for a week that were really mild. I had sinus congestion, and it was a little uncomfortable to swallow. Not even painful to swallow. It's just uncomfortable, right? For a week. And I thought, oh, this is just a little cold, no big deal, right? It'll pass. And then after a week of those symptoms, then it kicked in and really knocked me on my butt. Let's go ahead and just put it on auto attack. Oops, a little bit of lag. Notice that on Heroic, the portals are not exploding with force damage, and they don't give me a curse. So I'm turning off Utter Dark Blast because the portals are immune to the evil damage. You should see some, yeah, see it says immune, but if I turn that off, then instead of doing evil damage, I'm doing force damage. And the portals will take force damage. If you were on a DPS tune, you could beat these down within, like a couple of seconds. But this tune has really poor DPS because, like I said, it's a tank. So it's actually taking me, 10 seconds to beat these portals down. Oh yeah, people put a lot of effort into making all kinds of guides and walkthroughs and puzzle solvers and stuff over the years in this game. Yeah, you realize that DDO is so old that, do you know that YouTube was only a year old when DDO came out? YouTube was only a year old, so there wasn't like, video game videos on YouTube weren't an established thing yet. And there was no such thing as live streaming when DDO came out. I mean, DDO is really old, you know? 19 years ago, the internet was a very different place. You know, we were still going to sites like College Humor and Newgrounds to watch funny videos and stuff, you know? I remember those sites? Jib Jab, yep, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, with any real amount of DPS, even if you weren't high DPS, like you could beat these down so much faster. I wanted to bring Ginger Spice in here because Ginger Spice is a, you know, end game cold casting druid. I mean, cold casting Sork, and I would have smoked this. But unfortunately, Ginger's not flagged for Heroic Shroud, so I'm having to bring this tune in. This can be a really fun challenge if you've never soloed Heroic Shroud. And I would encourage everybody to try it, you know, just for the fun of it, just to have that be one of your bucket list items that you do at some point in your DDO life. Ooh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Brace for impact, because it's never just one with me. It's gonna be like 15 sneezes. Alright, that's the end of part 1. Easy peasy. Thank you, Hand Like Feek. Shrine if you want to. Part 2 is kind of tricky to solo. Because you have to, you know, do all 4 of those bosses and, like, separate them out to kill them. And then get back to the crystal and kill it. And that can be tricky to solo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys down to South Central. Or down to Southwest. Tanu again. He is super slow. Oh no, we didn't get... Or did we? We have the Earth out. Okay, they're all 4 of them are here. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. So they shouldn't die because they're all together. Okay. Notice they're taken down to 0 hit points, and then they don't die. Okay, so the way that you can separate them out if you're by yourself, or even with a group, if you don't have people to like intimidate them apart, And if you'll be running slow if you have the poison from the Trog, so make sure you get rid of that poison, is just run them to the north, okay? They are going to separate out on their own because they have different run speeds, okay? See, they're just dying right now. See that? Now it says Shatter the Crystal. Because I started running forward, they started chasing me, but they all run at different speeds, so they started to separate out. Now I'm going to go to the crystal, and I'm going to break it. Boom. That's it. That's how you solo part 2. And you can do that in Legendary as well. Okay. Shrine if you want to. Click the portal, and it'll take you to part 3. This is tedious to solo. But all the puzzles were done because, like I said in the Legendary Shroud teaching raid, sometimes there's a bug where they're just all done. I don't know why that happens. Okay, I do. I entered a Game Genie cheat code in secret before this, but I'm not going to admit to that. I'm just kidding. It's a bug. I don't know why it happens. But they're all done, so that just made my life a hell of a lot easier. So now we got to destroy these 3 crystals here to open up the way to the center room. Real easy to destroy them on Heroic. There's your bonus chest down there that you get when you solve all the puzzles. Okay, now I got to run waters out to 11 rooms. I click the head, gather a vial of lunar dew. Is that the code? Okay, and I touch the fountain to get the water started. Now I gotta go back and get another vial of lunar dew. The scary part about soloing this is, I told you earlier when we were doing Legendary Shroud teaching raid about the corner of death. I've died in that corner as a result of, you know, when I was soloing it, and that really sucks. So I kind of want to avoid that corner until last. Now notice that there's no wall. In Heroic, there's no wall for 5 minutes. It was really funny is in the final years before it went Legendary, you know, Shroud Pugs were beating everything down so fast and doing things so fast that, you know, the people that were newer to the game during those final years of Shroud's reign, they didn't even know there was a wall. Right, because every group they were ever in did it so fast they never saw the wall. So when Legendary came out, people were like, what the hell is up with this wall? But my guild was actually very accustomed to dealing with the wall because just to make Shroud interesting, because at that point Shroud, the difficulty of it was passe. Just to make it interesting, we would literally have everybody wait at the end of part 2 and just send one person into part 3 and wait until the wall came up. And then we'd call everybody in once the wall came up. And we'd do like trivia for 5 minutes just for fun to pass the time. And then we played Pink Floyd The Wall over microphone while everybody was trying to do this part with the wall up. And we did just that because it just made it funny, you know? So when Legendary came out and the wall was up already, we were like, no problem, we got this. We've been doing this for years. While some other people were freaking out, not knowing what to do with the wall. Not even knowing that the wall was there the whole time, even in Heroic. It just doesn't come up right away in Heroic. Got 8 left to run. So I'm going to avoid the corner of death until the very final one. That way, if it does happen to kill me, then I can just gibbers and hopefully have enough time to do that and finish this part. Sorry, still dealing with a lingering cough because I had the flu last week. I'm still getting over it. I wish you could just jump over the wall here. But they don't let... Yeah, there's an invisible barrier. That'd be pretty sweet if you could do that. Six to go. The wall should be coming out in a minute. You can actually see the wall when you're in this room. You can look over the top and see it. See, so you know where it's currently at, because it moves in a predictable fashion. It just rotates. It just moves clockwise around the zone. Oh, Irina, if you're still there, I saw you say in Cozy's chat the other day that you were working. You almost got your store back up. So if you're still there, once you get your store up, please stop by my channel and let us know, because I love your work, and I want to, I want to promote it. I want to let people know what you're doing. So when you get your store up, let me know, please, because I'll be giving out the link and stuff. I would have pushed your stuff a lot more over the holidays, but I remember you said your store wasn't working and stuff. Hell yeah, Irina. If you guys don't know Irina Elf, she makes like Dungeons and Dragons dice jewelry and baubles and dice bags and stuff like that. It's all handcrafted stuff. She does like D20 necklaces, and like you can get little mini dice earrings, and you can get crocheted dice bags and all kinds of cool stuff. I have actually I have one of her D20 necklaces, but I don't have it nearby. I just moved my whole streaming setup, and I think my necklace is buried in my drawer somewhere right now. But if I can remember, maybe I'll try to dig it out and show it again soon. There's the wall coming around the corner. Need to get the hell out of Dodge fast. So we got 4 more fountains to do. Okay, remember I said, you see, I can see the wall right there. So I know I don't want to go around that way. I don't think that I even have time to get this corner one. Oops, where is it? I don't trust the wall. I've been burned by the wall so many times over the years. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't want to go around the corner of death. So I'm just going to sit tight. There's the wall right there. I'm just going to sit tight and wait for it to pass there. Oh, or alternatively, I can demonstrate how to get around the corner. This is really tricky. Oh, it's already... all right. Look. Oh, okay. See, once it goes, it's going to go in that corner. Oh, and then come out this one, but I don't want to take the chance. That looked too tight to me. So we're just going to let the prismatic wall pass. Do not taunt. Happy fun wall. And do that one. Now I think the last two are in the corner of death. Gotta be quick to beat the wall because it's coming around the corner right now. Eesh. Oh, it's still at the corner. You gonna make some jewelry on the stream later today? Hell yeah. Let's give a shout out to Irina Elf. Give her a follow. There you go. Give her a follow and check out the jewelry that she's making on stream today. And these make great gifts. You got a D&D, if you got a gamer girl or guy in your life, these are great, unique gifts, handcrafted by a member of our own community. They're beautiful. And, you know, it's just not some mass-produced crap. You know, she makes this stuff by hand right on stream, and that makes it special. Oops, I don't know why I went and got another thing, because I'm done with this part. So that's part 3. That's soloing part 3. Grab my chests and move on to part 4. Ooh, let's reactivate Underdark Blast. Maybe rebuff too. I don't know if I can one round it. Like I said, this is a low DPS tune. It is a tank build, so I don't know. If I remember correctly, it took me a couple rounds the last time I soloed it, but that was a long time ago. I don't know what level I was. Sticking on auto attack. Oh, looks like I should be able to one round it. Maybe, maybe not. Not hard to solo Shroud, folks. And if you had any kind of DPS, you would beat this guy. You'd have this guy beat down already. This is a very low DPS build. Hey Niven, good morning and welcome. Let's see if I can find mine while we're waiting for the DPS to happen. I have some extras here. Oh, I think I know where mine is. 1 second. Let Molly stand in for a quick sec. Thank you, Molly. So here's mine here. D20 necklace. Oops. It's purple. It's voodoo purple. Like my lighting's not very good, but in any event, it's my Irina Elf D20 necklace. Hell yeah. I don't even see what I would. I get them down to 50. That's just sad. You could have killed them first round, no problem. Have it braided into my beard. I'm gonna do chain shape. Chain shape will actually bounce off of Eretricos and kill the gnolls. But not all of them. Some of them are just a little bit too far away. Now we're gonna go back up to focus blast. Put it on auto attack. And looks like we had him down to about a third, so we should be able to get it in the second round. I remember when soloing Heroic Shroud was a big deal back in the day, back when the level cap was 20. That was, you were a baller if you were doing that. Even on normal. You know, I'm doing it on Elite right now, but I'm level 34, right? Shoot, if you could solo it on normal at level 20 back then, back in like 2010 when the level cap was 20. Oh, that was baller. Alright, that's the end of part 4. Oh, shoot, did he disappear? Crap, I thought I had him, he must have, oh, it looked like he must have just had a pixel left or something. Damn it, Jim. I guess we'll have to go into round 3. That's funny. Man, he must have been at nothing. Yeah, he has no visible health. One hit. He was one hit away from dying. So that's soloing part 4. No big whoop. And this is where it starts to get different from Legendary Shroud. So here in Heroic Shroud, after you've shrined, you're going to click that, and then this portal comes up, and you click this another portal, and you're like, oh my god, we're all dying. What happened? Oh no, everybody's dead. You ruined it. But this is how you advance to part 4, and if you die in this is how you advance to part 5, and if you die in part 4, your soulstone gets teleported here. But there's a real quirky thing, like, as soon as somebody hits the altar, there's like a 10-second window where you can raise people in part 4, which was important back in the day, because you'd want to get everybody raised up so they could shrine up and stuff, but, you know, by today's standards, it's not a big deal. In any event, I just wanted to mention that, you know, that was a thing. And we do have Heroic Shroud Teach and Read video on my YouTube channel. So now we're fighting the 4 bosses from part 2 again. I do need to buff up since I just died, but it brings you back to life after Eretricos goes through a monologue. Notice that I cannot kill them while they're all together. They do need to be separated out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just beat them all down. And now I'm going to take them to the back corner. Okay. And just by their different movement speeds, see how they're just dying out? But if they didn't, because there's different bosses that you can get, if they all came over and they didn't die, the reason why I bring them over here, because what I would have then done is I would have ran over here real quick to the opposite corner as far away as I could, so then they have a bigger area to separate out in. Okay, now I'm just going to stick it on auto attack. And this is it. This is as soon as he dies, it's over. This is probably going to take me a few minutes because I have such a low DPS, but in any event, it's just a matter of time at this point. You cannot run it on a hardcore server, right? Because in Heroic Shroud, you do die at the end of part 4, so that would count as your death. Now, unless it was the server where you had extra lives, so in the hardcore where there was one season where there was extra lives, people were running Shroud then, but that's the only time. Maybe I could bring out a dinosaur summons. To help beat on him. he aggroes on the dinosaur right away. That's funny. My DPS is so bad that he cares more about the dinosaur summons than me. Yeah, I have DPM, damage per minute. Sometimes he teleports you to him. That's what happened. Damage per day. So that's how you solo Heroic Shroud, and soloing Legendary Shroud is basically the same process. You know, part 5 is a little bit different, but if anybody has any questions about soloing Shroud or Legendary Shroud, and I do have a video of soloing both of those on my YouTube channel, if you want to watch those. And if you're new to the show, I'm your host, Uncle Voodoo, and I do this morning show every weekday on my channel from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. I also stream raids on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I do a late morning show right here on DDO's official Twitch channel. DDO stream every Saturday, 11 to 3, so we're coming up on the end of the show here in just a few minutes. You can also find me on YouTube, where I have over 1,000 DDO videos, quest walkthroughs, raid guides, crafting tutorials, and tons more. Been making content for DDO for over a decade, and I am a full-time content creator. This is what I do. Always happy to answer viewer questions. I run a very new and returning player-friendly show. We have a great community over on my channel. Most of the people that hang out on DDO stream here during my Saturday show, most of them are the same folks that hang out on my channel during the week. And I'm not the expert of all things DDO, but usually between me and Guildies and the great folks in chat, we can answer just about any DDO questions. If there's any final questions before we wrap up the show, let me know. Happy to discuss all things DDO. That, my friends, is how to solo Heroic Shroud. You can too. Cacao.